The string lights glowed softly above the garden, laughter and music floating through the air. Emma adjusted the camera strap around her neck, trying to ignore the nervous flutter in her chest. She wasn't supposed to be here. Her cousin, the real wedding photographer, had fallen sick at the last minute, and Emma had been begged to step in. She loved photography but had never done it professionally. Still, family needed her, so here she was, hiding her nerves behind the lens. As she snapped candid moments, the bride wiping a tear, kids chasing bubbles, her focus narrowed on capturing joy. That was when she noticed him. A tall man in a dark suit, standing a little apart from the crowd. He wasn't laughing like the others, but his eyes softened every time they landed on the small girl clutching his hand. She couldn't have been more than 6, her pink dress twirling as she tugged him toward the dance floor. Emma smiled instinctively and raised her camera. Through the lens, she captured the little girl's laughter and the man's reluctant grin as he finally gave in to her pleas and spun her around. There was something vulnerable, almost tender, in the way he held his daughter. The man looked up suddenly, catching Emma's gaze. Their eyes locked for a heartbeat too long, and Emma's pulse stumbled. She quickly lowered her camera, cheeks warm, unaware that this single stolen moment would change everything. Emma busied herself with adjusting camera settings, pretending she hadn't just been caught staring. Her heart still raced, though she reminded herself this was work, nothing more. She needed to stay focused. Yet every few minutes, her eyes drifted back to the man and his daughter. Later, as the guests lined up for photos, Emma gently directed them, her voice calm though inside she was trembling. When the little girl tugged her father forward, Emma's breath caught again. Up close, he was even more striking, sharp jawline, broad shoulders, but eyes that seemed weighed down by unspoken stories. "Smile," Emma said softly. The girl beamed, but the man's expression remained guarded. "Come on, Daddy," the child whispered, nudging him. "Just one smile. For me." At that, his lips curved, awkward at first, then genuine, the kind of smile that could light up a room. Emma instinctively clicked the shutter, capturing not just faces but something deeper, the fragile bond between a father trying his best and a daughter who adored him. When the photo was done, the little girl clapped. "You're really good at this," she told Emma with childlike sincerity. "Way better than the last photographer." Emma laughed, her nerves easing. "Well, I'll take that as the highest compliment." The man's eyes lingered on her, curious. "You're not the usual photographer, are you?" Emma hesitated, then admitted, "No, just filling in. My cousin was unwell." Something softened in his expression, as though he recognized the quiet sacrifice behind her words. Before he could say more, someone called him away. But as he walked off with his daughter, Emma felt a strange certainty. This encounter wasn't over. The night wore on, but Emma couldn't shake the image of the father and daughter. Between group shots and candid captures, her eyes searched for them almost unconsciously. She found them near the dessert table, the little girl giggling as she balanced a cupcake far too big for her tiny hands. Moments later, disaster struck. The cupcake toppled, landing frosting first onto the floor. The girl's lip trembled, her big eyes welling with tears. Emma reacted without thinking. She knelt beside her, pulling a tissue from her pocket. "Don't worry," Emma said gently, wiping the frosting from the child's fingers. "Accidents happen. Look." She handed her another cupcake from the table with a playful wink. "This one is even bigger. A secret bonus cupcake." The girl's face lit up instantly, and she threw her arms around Emma's neck in a spontaneous hug. Emma froze, then melted, her heart swelling at the unexpected affection. When she looked up, the father was there. His gaze wasn't stern as she feared, it was softened, almost grateful. "You didn't have to do that," he said quietly. Emma shrugged, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "Sometimes all it takes is a little kindness." For a moment, silence stretched between them, heavy yet warm. He seemed about to say something when a guest called for more photos. Emma excused herself, slipping back into her role. But the way his eyes had lingered on her stayed with her, a pull she couldn't explain. And though she told herself she was only here for one night, some part of her already knew this meeting was far from finished. By the time the bouquet had been tossed and the music slowed into soft melodies, Emma was exhausted but fulfilled. She had captured laughter, tears, and everything in between. Packing her gear, she noticed a little girl sitting alone near the fountain, swinging her legs. Emma walked over. "Hey, cupcake thief," she teased gently. "Why aren't you dancing?" The girl giggled. "Daddy got a phone call. He said he'd be right back." Then, more softly, "He's always busy." Emma sat beside her, heart tugging at the quiet disappointment in the child's voice. "He loves you, you know. Sometimes grown-ups just carry heavy things you can't see." The girl nodded thoughtfully, then asked with innocent boldness, "Do you have kids?" Emma smiled faintly. "Not yet. But maybe someday." Before she could say more, the father returned. His phone was tucked away now, and his eyes softened at the sight of his daughter leaning against Emma as if they'd known each other forever. "Sorry," he said, his voice lower than before. "Business doesn't always respect weddings." Emma stood quickly, brushing off her dress. "No need to apologize." But he surprised her by continuing. "I'm Liam. Liam Carter." He hesitated, as though weighing the decision, then added, "CEO of Carter Enterprises." Emma blinked. The name was familiar, even she knew it. He was one of the most respected young CEOs in the country. Yet here he was, a man fumbling through fatherhood, not a polished headline. "Emma," she said softly, offering her hand. For the first time that night, his smile reached his eyes. "Emma," he repeated, as though the name itself carried weight. And standing there under the string lights, Emma realized she'd stumbled into something far greater than just filling in at a wedding. The wedding was drawing to a close. Guests were leaving with laughter and hugs, but Emma lingered, reviewing her photos one last time. She felt both proud and strangely wistful. This night had given her more than just pictures, it had stirred something in her heart. As she packed up, Liam approached with his daughter fast asleep in his arms, her head resting on his shoulder. His voice was quieter now, stripped of formality. "You have a gift," he said, nodding at the camera. "Not just for capturing images, but for seeing people. Really seeing them." Emma's throat tightened. "I just try to find the beauty in little moments." He shifted his daughter gently. "That's something I've forgotten how to do. Since my wife passed, it's been survival. Work, responsibility, and making sure he glanced at his daughter. Never feels the hole in her life too deeply." Emma's chest ached at his honesty. She whispered, "You're doing better than you think. She adores you." For a moment, Liam simply studied her, as if weighing whether to take a step he hadn't dared in years. Then softly, "I don't usually say this, but thank you. Tonight you gave her joy. And me, hope." Emma's breath caught. She hadn't expected gratitude that cut so deeply. "Sometimes kindness is all we can give," she murmured. Liam smiled, gentle, vulnerable, real. "And sometimes kindness is exactly what saves us." As he walked away into the night, his daughter safe in his arms, Emma felt an unshakable certainty. This wasn't an ending. It was the beginning of something neither of them had planned, but both desperately needed. And under the fading glow of the wedding lights, Emma finally believed that even the smallest acts of selflessness could open doors to miracles.